But Sampath Reddy is also with us, Chief Investment Officer at Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance. Sampath, good afternoon. So, you're talking about record inflows for mutual funds last month. Is the trend similar from the insurance companies? Because, that's actually even a bigger pool, of money which gets invested in stock markets.
Yeah, mutual funds are getting a significant amount of net inflows. Every month, the trend has been, more than 10,000 crores. If you look at insurance companies, it is not yet the same. Even though ULIP sales have picked up a lot for most of the insurance companies, including ourselves, but at the company level, the net inflows continues to be, I would say, muted. But we probably think that by JFM, Jan, Feb, March, we could see a good amount of inflows. But as of now, we are not really a big investors, because at the company level, the net inflows are pretty much, I would say, is muted.
You said ULIP inflows have picked up, Sampath. Over what period?
ULIP sales have picked up in the last 2 years, I would say. Last 1.5 years, especially, the ULIP sales have been growing across the industry within the life insurance side. But you would see the challenge with the life insurance industry. There's still not a net buyers in the market, in the equity markets, because there has been redemptions of the old funds, old products where we've sold about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and that because of the adjusting for the surrenders and withdrawals of the old products we've already sold. And the new inflows is not commensurate enough, so that's why you're not seeing net buying from the insurance companies. But my sense is that we are closer to the the end of the net outflows. Probably JFM onwards we could see positive inflows in the ULIP side as well. So that is when you would see insurance companies also will be the buyer in the market.
Ashwini, the bank Nifty future is at discount. Would that be right? I mean, is it just? I mean, am I just nitpicking, or would you want to give that data some credence?
Well, I don't want to puncture your enthusiasm, but the point is that North Korea news isn't exactly macro news. Yes, we got this indecent news and that drove up the bank Nifty, but other large banks haven't participated. The bank Nifty is not trading at a large premium. It was at one point trading at 40-point premium, then it went into a 20-point discount. So which means that this breakout is shaky. So I don't think this is backed by money beyond a point. So once the short covering is over, we'll have trouble going up, because a breakout sustain only when there is macro push that happens. So even if we close above 10,000, I don't think that really counts for too much.
Okay, on that note, let's bring you a slice of conversation from the morning. We got some market opinion from Pramod Gubbi, head of equities at Ambit Capital. We asked him about his thoughts on the metal sector in specific and whether this was a good time to invest.
No, tough one really. We've stayed away from analyzing the sector in the first place because there's so many moving parts to it. We clearly need to get a head around global supply and demand, of which China is a big part, and it's never really driven by free market economics there. And on top of that, we have our own regulatory intervention in terms of export bans and import tariffs and stuff. So it's not so straightforward, but given how much they've run up, I think you need further sustained support from different quarters for this to run up. So we would continue to stay away from this.
Well, Pramod, you all play the consumption theme a lot, but all those stocks have run up a goodish bit, especially discretionary consumption. Autos, for instance, I mean, Maruti not affected too much by the rise in GST rates, they're actually lower than expected. But how are you approaching now, both broad-based consumption and discretionary consumption?
Yeah, I mean, both, I guess, valuations will be the biggest hurdle, and also, more importantly, the continuation of underlying demand, given where the economy is headed. I think the recent numbers clearly suggested that we are on a weak wicket on multiple fronts, both in terms of.
That was Pramod Gubbi. But Sampath, so in terms of portfolios, where are you deploying the additional money right now? Is it still financials, large cap financials, or NBFCs, or are you looking at some other sectors as well?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it overall, the valuations has been a challenge in this market, with the earnings growth continue to disappointing for the last, about a year or so. I think where very few pockets where there is a good quality growth happening is one of them is financial, especially the private sector financial, where, the retail lending side, there the NPA problem is not at all there, and the growth is very good. So that is a sector we've been liking for quite some time. We continue to invest there. Consumer stocks, even though the multiples are on the higher side, evaluation multiples are on the higher side, upwards of 45 times, because of the growth and as well as, the longevity of the businesses, we still, putting some money there. So consumers is another sector we've been liking. We've been liking IT services also, but, of late they've been, for the last, year or so, they've not been performing mainly because of the currency, I think. Currency has been a major problem for the, IT services companies. INR continues to appreciate. That has been, dragging down the sector valuation as such. I think that IT sector also, from a longer term perspective, the valuations are attractive. We are looking to add positions there. We also like metals. Metals as a sectors. Especially the aluminum and the steel. And even zinc. These are the places where India has abundant raw material and also have got a very good cost competitiveness. And across the board, we have been noticing that metal inventories are coming down. Aluminum inventories have been coming down. Same is the case with zinc also. So because of that, price momentum continues to be good, and the metal sector is also poised well. So that is also sector we are liking it. And also auto ancillaries also we've been investing, especially some of the companies like tire companies where the valuations are still reasonable. That some of the few pockets where we are finding valuations attractive.
Okay, all right, Sampath. Many thanks for joining us today and giving us your market call. Well, on that note, we're winding down trade for this Monday, and it looks like Anuj holding on to 10,000 just by the skin of the teeth.